All right, we are live right now on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Let me just quickly link the live stream. See if we can get that going. Let's go. All right. Fantastic. Hopefully everything is working fine. I haven't checked everything properly. All right. Guys, we are live right now. Welcome back to Lucid Trading. We are going to be covering what's happening here in the stock market. The future market is going to open up in about 48 minutes from now. We're going to try to predict where certain indices and stocks and maybe, cryptocurrencies are going to be heading. Welcome back to David, Jasper, Amadeus, Plup, Joran, Kent, Sean, Mario, Alan, Ubermensch. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate y'all. Alright, let's take a look at the charts. This was our Dow Jones trend prediction from, I think this was the 21st of April. I would say it's doing pretty well. It's holding the 200-day moving average right now, but I think it's going to break it to the downside. I do think that the Dow is looking exceptionally weak in comparison to the other indices right now. 4 hours seems like it's going to bounce slightly. Daily is still negative. Yeah, I'm not going to change my mind on this. Not yet. I would say not yet. Let's take a look at the Russell. We haven't done a prediction there yet. So we'll have to do that. Let me take a look at the live chat. Nothing seems to be going up. Well, because the market is closed right now as we speak. The market is going to open up tomorrow. Also, I want to share some thoughts on Bitcoin. I said in the past that Bitcoin was going to be in a bear market for some time. And right now we're seeing the opposite happen. It's going up to the 58,000, but I also said if it goes above the 60,000, I would change my mind on this. It hasn't happened yet, and we see that Bitcoin is still moving lower. It has hit the 56,000. Not only that, I would say the weekly chart is still not out of the woods just yet. This pattern over here, if it were to cross, I would change my mind. I would say Bitcoin is definitely bullish, and it's going to probably head to the 100,000. But it looks like it's about to happen, but it's not quite there yet. So I'm not quite bullish just yet. But yeah, I'm about to change my mind if this does happen. It's been interesting. The past couple days for Bitcoin has been really, really interesting. Ethereum also has been surpassing my own, I would say, expectations. I've changed my target for when it would top out. I thought it might top out there. It absolutely pushed through that target that we had set here at 2,800. And right now it is heading towards the 3,000s and above. I would say 3,200 would be my next target. But it's very, very difficult to say where cryptos are heading as we don't have any substantial fundamental catalysts for cryptos like Ethereum and others. I personally bought some, what is this called? The EPS. I think it's Ellipse, right? It's a cryptocurrency. It's an altcoin. I bought this one right at the 2.4. I thought it was looking good technically wise. And I had some luck. It jumped up 23.8% today, which is definitely a great profit. The reason I bought into the crypto was because they're quite established. They have a great CEO that knows all about the technicals and is, I would say, focusing more on fundamentals than just advertising and whatever. So, yeah, I think the function of EPS is also going to be quite great in, I would say, in the cryptoverse. So I bought some EPS. Their market cap, I believe, is roughly 350 million right now. So there's a lot of room there for growth. Not only that, it has, ICO'd at like, what is it? 22 was it $22 to 22 USDT, which is quite insane given how, you know, it went down really fast. But I definitely think it could get back to these levels, these upper levels. So just put some money in there, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as you guys know, for me, I'm not really that into crypto, but I decided to just take a shot at it right now as we see the reversal for Bitcoin, at least partial reversal. Gara's first altcoin. Well, actually, I've actually bought Dogecoin as well. I remember buying some Dogecoin at the 30 cents. Yeah. 27 to 30 cents in this area right here. It shot up, sold out. I bought some EPS. I also have Zilliqa. A good friend of mine knows a lot about crypto, so I just followed him. I was like, hey, just throw me some good ones. Zilliqa is apparently a really good one. I bought some Zilliqa and some, I think it was ORN USDT, and it's this one. That's Orion Protocol, if I remember correctly. And also had I bought some Cardano, just a slight amount, just a slither, because Cardano already has a big market cap. But yeah, enough about the cryptos. But yeah, I'm getting, getting some cryptos just in case, just a small amount. Roughly $600 I put in crypto and altcoins that I personally think are looking good. But it's not a huge amount. All right, let's take a look here. What's happening? Stop following what people tell you to buy. Well, it's a good friend of mine. He's got a lot of expertise in crypto, and I trust him for his word. So, I think it'll be fine. Also, let me just quickly adjust the light settings here. As you can see that the light is a little too bright. Maybe it's I think this is maybe a little better. All right. Did they update the live chat? The live chat looks so different. Huh, interesting. Gara, have you seen Sony? It sold off big time. Let's take a look at Sony right now. Oh yeah, I'm still searching in crypto. Sony. Oh wow, yeah, it did sell off quite a bunch. I mean, let's be honest. Sony has been doing quite good for so long. Given how fast the RSI and MACD are dropping, and how established Sony is as a company. Yeah, oh my gosh, the revenue is so spread out. Like, it's a value company, right? It's not really a growth company. It's kind of funny how their stock almost doubled. It's a value company, right? That's kind of crazy. 124 billion market cap. Well, this is the 4 hours. Let's take a look at the daily. Even the daily went down huge. That was a massive downturn. I think it was an overreaction, although we have to know more about what happened. But I think, if anything, it was probably an overreaction. We can see how really drastically the RSI moved on Sony. And in recent times... the last time we had such a drastic downturn was probably right here. This is even worse than that. Or maybe comparable to this huge downturn. What's happening on the weekly? Yeah, weekly is definitely bearish. So I would say that's a bearish trend. You don't want to be buying in this zone, that's for sure. If there's a trend at all, it's probably going to be yeah, right here. So I would personally say, hey, if the fundamentals are still okay, and we know that the markets are still doing okay, maybe that cross section right here, which is right at 94.8, that would be like a nice point to dollar cost average at, and then maybe potentially bounces off. That could be the case there, because it still does look very negative. RSI is really falling hard. Sony went down 4.5%, but if I take a look at like the 1 hour, it looks like it could bounce like probably on Monday. And we also have a gap there. Yeah, worst case scenario, it's going to hit that 94.8, I would say, that zone here. And then bounce off. Oh, the PS5 hype died off. Yeah, okay, that could also have a big influence. Let me just sit properly. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, if the PS5 hype died off. Well, is that the only reason it went up this parabolically? I mean, if that is the case, then it's gonna go down a lot more. But yeah, I do think it's gonna go down a bit more. Probably hit this zone here, and because we have so much inflation, and because the PS5 is still gonna be selling good, still gonna get them profits, and they're probably gonna work on new products. So as long as the fundamentals are good and the technicals are indicating that it's going to probably bounce very soon, I think Sony is going to get cheaper, but also it's going to get more affordable and more promising for an investment, or I would say a momentum trade. Are SPACs trending back? I would say slowly. The hype is returning bit by bit, but I don't think we've quite gotten to levels where I would say it's back. But yeah, the way CCIV, for example, jumped upwards here, that's quite amazing. I mean, that huge move. Look at that. It went from like 20 to like 24. And there are many other SPACs that did the same thing, actually. Clover Health is a good example. How it actually rallied back up after it was tormented by a short report, I believe. It hit like $7 at some point. And I said several times, like, it's going to go back to $14. Chamath is never going to let this one fail. I don't think so. And recently it did quite okay. Somebody's spamming right now. Sell in May and go away, someone says. I don't know about that. It would be funny to see that, though, but... okay, so we have Palantir, which I think they have earnings on the 11th, right? And this was an expectation of mine, which, historically speaking, given how Palantir has been moving, I haven't been quite accurate on. But yeah, they've recently got a contract as well. Let me check Palantir stock. Yeah, they have a contract going for them. I think recently that news came out. I think it was somewhere on the Discord. Oh yeah, Palantir was awarded a contract from the Air Force. It's worth 32.5 million. That's quite promising, I would say. That's like 10% their quarterly earnings, and they're expected to get the full amount in November. So that's good news. And I think there was another piece of news about Palantir. Let me check it out. Yeah, I'm quite confident about Palantir still. This is a support zone. This zone right here, the upper 22 range, I would say. And if we take a look at the daily chart, it's not indicative of any move. However, I think we can draw a nice trend line from the bottoms. Can we? Can we? Nah, not really. I thought for a second we might be able to just draw one beautiful line there, which would indicate that it was about to bounce again. But yeah, MACD is still sitting below these levels, right? So historically speaking, we're still sitting relatively low. RSI, I would say the same thing is going on here on the daily chart. We're seeing an ascending pattern on the RSI. And yeah, these higher lows and then lower highs makes it a little difficult to say what's going to happen here. Although it is holding that 100-day moving average, which is that light blue line right there. And given that we have earnings coming up, which is the 11th of May, historically speaking, about 2 weeks to a week before such an event, momentum picks up. And didn't the same exact thing happen here? Wherein, yeah, there you go. Momentum picked up before earnings. And right here, the same thing happened. So generally speaking, it runs for earnings. And then on the earnings announcement itself, of course, it either sells off big time, what usually happens, or we get a big announcement or a big earnings beat, and it keeps on going up. So I would say that there is a high chance. I'm actually, like, I know what's been happening, right? The demo day came around and it didn't go to 30. Although you have to kind of think about one thing. We were right about one thing. There was a big move that happened. It went from this 23 all the way to 26.3. Anybody that bought at 23 and was able to sell 26 point, that's a massive gain. Like, that's not to be, I would say, taken lightly. Although, of course, it is disappointing. It didn't quite hit 30. I expected 30, 32. We didn't get there, which was also surprising to me. I think the reason that we didn't get there is because small cap tech stocks and just tech stocks in general were at that time still not really, I would say, picking up pace. But we know recently the Russell definitely took off. It definitely took off, and we got the Nasdaq also heading up. So that's a good thing. And if that keeps going, I would say that's definitely going to be creating an environment where we could see Palantir move above these resistances, such as that $26, $27 range, which is going to have to escape to get to the 30s. Yeah, we've got about 29 minutes until the future market is going to be opening up here, and with Powell calling market frothy and Buffett suggesting higher valuation yesterday. I mean, you got to think about it this way. Warren Buffett, he doesn't like growth stocks. He just doesn't. He's all about value stocks. Um, it's so hilarious. You know, one thing about Buffett, Apple was a growth stock. It was worth just $1, I think 20 years ago. Buffett discarded Apple as an investment. Listen up. It was $1. I think the market cap was just a couple billion. He discarded Apple because it's a frothy investment. It has high multiples. It's very risky. And to be fair, he's right about that. Had he bought Apple stock back then, instead of buying in, I think a year ago or something, Buffett wouldn't have been a multi-billionaire. He would have probably been a trillionaire at this point. Okay, I'm kidding. Not a trillionaire. He would be way better off. Of course, I can't tell him what to do. But it's just like, just plain up being like, oh yeah, don't invest in growth, and it's all just speculation. And in my opinion, is that like, while value will retain its value and slowly head up, real disruptors like Apple, they'll shoot up big time. And it has happened. And we saw Warren Buffett buy into Apple at the top, right? As Apple was worth 750 billion or like $1 trillion, Buffett actually bought Apple stock. Which is like, I don't know, man. That's like, Apple was way cheaper throughout its history, and oh well. But yeah, I think growth stocks can still run. I think tech stocks can still run. I think I honestly just want to say, I think Warren Buffett is just too old. He's just too old to understand what's happening with the future of technologies and everything, to fully know about that, which I think he knows what he's talking about, of course, about finance, whatever, and just like how to invest in. But I don't think he knows which tech stocks. He knows nothing about tech, basically. That's basically what I want to say. Yeah, I'm trying to be saying appropriate things here. He invests in things that he understands, and because he's too old, it's really difficult for him to understand the new stuff. And so he can't really be like, hey, new people, hey, new generation, everything you do, it's all frothy and speculation. Well, maybe it's speculation right now. Let's say Palantir, for example, has a 40 billion market cap. We have a market crash. Palantir goes to a 10 billion market cap. 10 years later, Palantir has a 200 billion market cap. It was a speculation, but you would have still 5x your money. Like, that's how I view it. Like, I don't know. I think value investing is just maybe a thing of the past. Honestly, if Warren Buffett was born in this day and age, he would probably be investing in growth stocks and in stocks that, you know, like Apple back in the day, were started in a garage and were about to disrupt companies. That's what I think. Anyway. Let's just let him drink his Coke. Right. Nevertheless, I do think Warren Buffett is a legend. I have learned so much from Warren Buffett. Like, most of what he says, I agree with completely. Like, I can't disagree because I know less than that guy. Like, most people know less than Warren Buffett. It's like, I watched the whole annual meeting, that Berkshire Hathaway had. Yes, I think it was yesterday, right? And my gosh, boatload of knowledge. Everybody should be following. Everybody should follow what he has to say because he's got like a boatload of wisdom. But I think he doesn't know a whole lot about growth stocks. I don't think he knows a lot about crypto and tech stocks. I think that's just not his expertise. This Okay, you gotta listen up. The reason I'm criticizing Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett had the chance to buy Tesla at a 20 billion market cap, at a 40 billion market cap, 60 billion market cap. People asked him, Warren, why aren't you buying Tesla? What's the reason you're not buying Tesla? And he's like, I don't believe in EVs and tech, and I don't believe in Elon Musk. I'm like, well, he already gave us the information. He told us, he's like, well, I don't know much about tech. That's not my expertise, so I don't invest in that. Well, he literally said, he basically said no to Elon Musk. That's basically what he did, which is, I don't know, it's the craziest thing. He could have literally bought 10% of Tesla and, oh well, for like $4 billion. Yeah. Somebody's saying Buffett will buy Tesla in 2030. Exactly. What I think is going to happen, Tesla's going to probably reach like a 2 trillion market cap at some point, and then Warren Buffett is like, you know what? Tesla's proven itself. I'm going to buy some Tesla shares. I'm going to buy 20 billion. That's exactly what he did with Apple. That's exactly what he did with Apple. It's just hilarious. It's like he buys it right when it's become mainstream. Like, oh god. But he already, he's almost a century old, so I think it's already amazing that he's capable to do his work at this at that age. C3, worst pick ever, Gara. We'll see. We'll see if it's going to be the worst pick. I'm telling you, I am still. I can't be bearish in this one. I mean, I got such a low average, I could even get out with no trouble. It's just, I do think this company is going to shoot up big time. Let's see. Gara, will you sell Doge before Saturday night? No, I'm not going to sell it, actually. I'm going to hold it throughout the whole thing. I don't want to sell it, actually. But I do think it's going to pump up big time before the event. Alright, let's see. What's happening here? Yeah, okay. So, Tesla's actually heading up. I'm just going to draw a line. I find it quite magnificent that Tesla actually managed to bottom out so quickly. It was kind of strange, because I thought, did the market go up? No, the market was down, right? Like, the market was down, and Tesla went up huge. Yeah, that was kind of amazing. I expected it to go back down in this range potentially, but it was shooting up. I think it was probably because of institutions. Yeah, you can see the volume actually shot up. Institutional buying caused it to go up big time, so that's the reason why it bottomed out right here. It filled the gap, and that could have been the reason for institutions like, hey, it's already low, it filled the gap, it's at a support range. We know that this right here, this is a solid support at the 660s. So institutions started buying. Look at that volume spike. Massive. Absolutely massive. Right, so that could be a course reversal for Tesla, although I think it's going to sell off initially, I would say, at the start of the week. I mean, when was the last time we saw such volume in the buying zone? Yeah, usually when that volume comes around, it sells off. So it wouldn't be too surprising if it would initially sell off, in all honesty. Although I would say the 3-hour MACD, 4-hour MACD, all looking pretty good. Remington Connors coming in with a $2 donation. Thank you so much, Remington. Remington says, Palantir with earnings, new contracts, 35 by the end of May. End of May. Let me take a look at Palantir. Is that possible at this point? 35 is right here, eh? Yeah, it's all gonna depend on earnings. Like, if we get 35, I mean, that would be insane. That would be like, it's like a 50% move. Yeah, it could happen on earnings. Not necessarily on earnings itself, but like after earnings, people could buy in knowing that they have had great earnings. People want to get in because it's kind of undervalued, sort of. Yeah. It's a possibility. It's just the hype kind of died off, right? The Wall Street Bets hype that was there, that pushed the stock to 40, that pushed it to 30. We don't see that anymore. It used to be there, but it's not really there right now. People are focused on GME and AMC and BlackBerry, Nokia, and all these other stocks. Microvision. It's pretty bad because yeah. So is it realistic to say it's going to hit 35 by the end of May? If earnings are really good and they beat the estimates by a large margin, yes. I would say yeah. It's going to be quite great. Okay. So some people are asking me, what do I expect for next week? For the coming week, right? Have I talked about this? Oh yeah, so this was my original estimate on the Nasdaq. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I think let me just delete everything. I have to make up my mind again. Yeah, RSI is heading down. Volume is relatively low. But what it really seems like it's kind of consolidating at the price. That's very bullish, given that the last time we were at this price, it sold off, which meant it could not, and people were not willing to buy at that price. People are clearly willing to buy it in the upper 13,000s, which is good. Is this comparable to what we've seen previously? Have we seen a previous moment like this? And the Nasdaq doesn't really consolidate, does it? Generally speaking, it just goes up and up and up. Is it just gonna go sideways? Like, it seems like that's gonna be the case here. I mean, when was the last time we saw this kind of movement at an all-time high? Like, I'm trying to find a moment in time where we see that kind of sideways movement. Let's see. Right here. This was at an all-time high. Some sideways-ish movement. But it's not really sideways if you zoom in. Back to 2019. It's kind of weird. It's a kind of a weird pattern on the Nasdaq. If I'm going to be really fair, it's really weird what's happening. This might be the first time in quite some time that it's moving sideways like that. At the all-time high, right? Close to the all-time high. That's the weird part. Although right there it did the same thing and then it fell off. Right? Let's take a look. For how long? 2 weeks? Sideways, fell off. Oh gosh, I'm getting scared. That is scary. That's scary to think about. That the times when when it moves sideways close to an all-time high, it generally tends to drop because it's not willing to move above, so it drops. At least recently. P-Docs coming in with the $5 donation and says, Peloton, thank you so much. I'll take a look at it in a moment. The Black Man's Guide to Bitcoin coming in with a $5 donation here as well, and says, Gara, can you check UUP for options? I don't really check options, but I'll take a look at it. Regardless, thank you. Yeah, I'm first gonna look at what's happening with the Nasdaq because I'm actually quite intrigued. Then I'll take a look at Peloton and UUP, I think. I'm a little bit confused to what's happening here. Right, you see how like this is an all-time high and that's where it's moving sideways? I'm a little confused by that. Like I can't find a period in time where this is actually the case. Or maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Right here, that would be, yeah, that's a time period where it happens. If I were to just... Oh God. Oh God. Is it going to drop off? Like, are we wrong about this? I mean, if that's the only thing that happens when it does go sideways, which really tends to be the case, sideways drops. Sideways drops. Yeah, right. It's a little bit concerning. But what would trigger the downturn then? I mean, well, I guess the daily chart is still heading down. The trend is still down. Shiv Garsh coming in with a £2 donation and says, "What's up, G-Dog? Gara, smash the like button, people." Yeah, make sure you smash that like button. Thank you so much for that donation, Shiv. Appreciate it. Just taking a look at the Nasdaq here. I really want to figure out what's happening. I'm a little bit confused myself. Checking my webcam right now. My hair looks awful. Oh well, it's late for me right now, so can't be bothered by that right now. All right, so given the trends that we have right now, does it look like it's gonna fall back down? That would be horrible. It's like a lot of people are gonna get drop kicked by the market if that was the case. It's also kind of canceling that. Ooh, oh, it's gonna be painful if that's the case. That would mean it's not gonna cross there. It's gonna actually drop initially and then cross, probably, in my estimation. Do we have a time where that was the case? Yeah, actually, there you go. This period of time. When was this? September of 2019. We had a massive boost upwards, and then it dropped, and then kept rallying. Right, so... Oh, man. It's really difficult to tell what's going to happen next year. In all likelihood, it seems like it's probably going to drop. I did say like a week ago that the coming days might be negative for the Nasdaq. I said that the end of the week of last week would be negative, and then this week would also be negative in the beginning of the week, which does make sense, to be really fair. Yeah, the fact that it's going sideways like this, that's a little off-putting. Like, that's not generally what happens. And then this kind of weird pattern is also like not really helping. No kind of trend, no nothing. Down, up, down, nothing. No uptrend, no downtrend, just sideways movement. Which means nobody wants to buy at 14,000. At least generally speaking. I mean, I'll have to look at the 10-year. What's happening with the 10-year? We were bullish on the 10-year. We thought the 10-year was going to go up. That actually didn't happen, which is kind of remarkable, given the technicals. I mean, maybe it didn't happen yet. Well, the 4 hours is still bearish, though. Interesting. Daily chart. Daily chart looks like it's about to spike, at least on the MACD, and the RSI is also gradually heading up. I'm a little bit worrisome about this. So if there is a reason that the Nasdaq drops, it's going to be the 10-year shooting up. Like if this would cross here in the MACD, I mean that's big. Okay, it's going to go all the way to 2. So I think that could be a reason. We've got the CPI report, the Consumer Price Index report, coming out the 12th of May, and that's going to have an influence as well. Let's see. Yeah, in about 4 minutes, the future market is going to open up, and we're going to see how the futures are going to look like. I got a slight feeling that it might not end up. I think the Nasdaq is going to fall again. At least short term, right? Short term, maybe this week. I think it's having a struggle keeping up these prices. Let's see if we can get a confirmation of this. What a nice comparison would be is this right here to this. At least this time period. Which meant maybe it goes up a little bit more and then drops. But in any case, I don't think the Nasdaq is looking so good here. It's getting frothy. Look how beautifully it bottomed out on the 200-day moving average. That is just fantastic. Here on the... This was the middle of March. One second. What's happening with the dollar? Yeah, we expected a spike, an initial spike, and then a drop off. We have had the spike so far. So that's nice. And then the drop to the downside. Daily chart is indicating more bullishness. That is crazy. Okay then. Weekly chart is kind of indicating that this might be just a base point now, for now. Like the lower 90s. Of course, if the dollar index goes up, that's quite bad for stocks, I would say. For most stocks. And if it goes down, it would be great. So if the 10-year goes down, the dollar goes down, short-term stocks are going to fly. We're seeing the 10-year actually, like it looks like it's about to cross on a weekly. But I can't really confirm anything here. Daily is about to shoot up. So I don't know. Yeah. It can go both ways at this point. Like when you see this, like, hey, it could cross on the daily to the upside, then the weekly looks like, I would say the 10-year is going to go up. I don't think it's going to go down. We're going to see something like what we saw right there, where it bounced off that MACD. Like momentum is going to keep pushing it higher. Right. Now let's go back to the short-term metrics. 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. It's also not looking that good. Not really predictable either. You know what? I'm going to say it's going to go down. I don't like what's happening here with the technicals. I think it's going to go down here. I was very bullish in the NASDAQ for quite some time. We've been saying that the NASDAQ was going to go up ever since it was bottoming in the zone. We said it was going to hit the all-time high, go sideways, go down, go sideways, mostly sideways. And it's happening right now as we speak, which is phenomenal. This is just as I expected. Like, really, really nice that this is happening. A lot of people said that the market was going to crash. Of course, that didn't happen. It actually shot up. So anybody that didn't buy at this point was crazy. Okay, futures are open. Futures are open. And, whoa, look at that. The NASDAQ is actually up 0.14% in the future market. The Dow Jones, I don't think... Yeah, the market's close. So we can see the NASDAQ is up. The Russell, oh my. Is it down? No freaking way. I don't think it has updated yet, because... Where is it sitting right now? I don't think it has updated. I think it's frozen. Yeah, it's going to update in moments, and then we'll see what the Russell is doing. Because it says market open, but the price is barely moving. Gold is heading down. The dollar is still heading down slightly. 10 years down. NASDAQ so far green. I don't know if that's actually going to hold up here. Seems more like we're going to see some bearish momentum. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at Peloton, because we had a donation recently. Yeah, we said that Peloton was going to go down quite a lot, right? Because it was this negative thing that happened. And then I said we might see reversal for earnings itself. So I still think this is possible. I think it's going to be possible because we had some massive selling, right? Huge amounts of selling. And the technicals were relatively bullish on this. So as long as the stock market remains stable, I still see Peloton going and filling that gap to the 115 throughout the, I would say that would be probably next week, right? Let me check. The 7th of May. That is going to be Friday. So I think it's a possibility. It's going to depend on earnings, but I think we're going to see more upside movement than downside movement. Right. Given that it's kind of bouncing off the 50-day moving average, which it has a history of bouncing off of, and we have that gap to be filling. But if the markets are really bearish, I would say it could drop to 80. So there's also a thing. Let's say if the Nasdaq goes down like to 13,000 or something like that, we'll see it back to 80. But yeah, I don't think it's going to go that fast. But for now, I think it could jump probably 10-15%. Shiv. Oh wait. The Black Man's Guide to Bitcoin said, check UUP. UUP. Yeah, it's actually holding up on the uptrend. Daily chart about to cross. RSI has a lot of room left. Resistance will be 25 maybe. Maybe it will run to 25. Short term. I think long term, definitely there is some room here to be running. Short term, I would say 25. After that, I would say maybe 25.5. Let's see what it's going to do the coming 2 weeks. 25.5. I definitely do think it's going to be uptrending. Nasdaq still up. Yeah, there you go. Russell's killing it. The Russell is killing it right now as we speak. Up 0.3%. I've been very bullish on the growth stocks. I've been very bullish on the Russell. While everybody was bearish, I was like, nope, growth stocks are going to go up. And that's happening right now as we speak. Now, the question is going to be whether it's actually going to last. Okay, daily chart. See what's happening on the daily chart. Yeah, right. That's actually quite bullish, I'd say. I mean, massive leg up. If it bottoms out here, it's going to shoot up again to the 2,400s. The 10-year yield is... Yeah, I don't like what's happening here because this could really impact growth stocks. If the 10-year decides to just cross there and just shoot up throughout the month of May, if we can follow this trend, right? One sec. If this trend is right, it could maybe be sitting at like 2. Like, just gradually head to that 2. That'd be scary. Like, if that happens, I mean, you're going to see a lot of growth stocks get annihilated if that happens. Like, if it doesn't cap at 1.75, it gets to 2. Wow, that would be just a horrible month of May for growth stocks. And the thing is, it might actually happen. There's a resistance right at the 1.985. Of course, it's very difficult to do TA on yields, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So let's say it goes to this level and it caps right there, which is right at the 2. One sec. CPI data is coming soon. Yeah, I know. It's going to be very impactful. Gara, what are your predictions for C3.ai? For C3.ai specifically, I mean, we know that the RSI is sitting very low. This is the 20-day. Look at that. This is the 20-day moving average. It's sitting so below these levels. It's ridiculous. And the daily chart. I mean, we've got higher highs. I would say if this is the bottom, it would be a higher low. So that would be so bullish because we haven't had a higher low. It's been every single time. It gets back right to the level there that it started to run off from, which is the 59 zone. Some people got C3 at 58. That's just unbelievable. But yeah, I think it could definitely bottom out at this zone. Which, you know, it jumped from the 64. It jumped while the Russell was actually negative. It actually still jumped up, which is quite impressive. I can't really say much about the MACD because it got a little distorted because of all that selling pressure. So this is really difficult to just decipher from, like, what is happening here. We do like this pattern on the RSI. That's nice to see that. I mean, it's ascending, of course, which you want to see that kind of pattern. You want to see momentum pick up. Oh yeah, Neo actually had some crazy delivery numbers. I think XPeng had crazy delivery numbers as well. Both of them, I think, are going to do very well. I think all the EV stocks are going to do very, very well. If the market in general just doesn't majorly sell off the next coming weeks, which we'll see what happens with the CPI report. Yeah, it's about to launch, guys. I'm telling you, this is about to launch. It's about to hit 75 to maybe 80. That's my estimate on this. Yeah, every single time it bottoms out at a higher place. At least it tries to, you know. It didn't previously because there was insider selling. So in fact, if that was not the case, I believe C3 would already be sitting in the $80 range, maybe even higher than that. But because we saw so much insider selling, right? I think it was right here or right there. If that were not to be the case, the price would have been sitting way higher. And so I think if we don't see insider selling now, it's definitely going to pick up. It's about to launch January 2021. That's fair, I guess. The lockup expiration is going to be in a month from now, yeah. I have to agree. That's going to be kind of... it's going to be messy. But isn't higher inflation figures already factored into the growth stocks, given the recent 40 to 60% decline? yeah. But if CPI if the yield goes up super fast, indicating that people are, really fearful of inflation. Because why would you hold bonds if they don't yield close to inflation levels? Like that's just crazy. So yeah, yields could go up a lot. It tells you the story of inflation. If inflation is really high, you'll see yields go up drastically. And so yeah, if that CPI report, if anything, is going to indicate higher inflation, yeah, you'll see yields skyrocket before and after the announcement of the CPI. So let's just hope it's mild. I think it's going to be bad, but it's not going to be as bad as people think. So that's why I think growth stocks are still going to be fine. What do you think about Virgin Galactic with the confirmed test flight of May 20th? Yeah, I think Virgin Galactic is going to take off. I bought some myself. My estimation was it was going to go down for earnings. Because, I mean, what do they really do in earnings? Generally speaking, on earnings, it drops. Nothing really happens. So it's been dropping lately, like we expected. And, well, not necessarily like we expected. I thought it was going to hit this support and then jump. But I think what happened was that they delayed the flight or something. And, I don't know, something crazy happened there. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think the fact that it's the 20th of May will attract a lot of buyers for the stock. So long as the market is not going to pull a sneaky on us, I think it'll be fine. I'm going to just briefly check like what's happening with the S&P. All right, the S&P is also up here. Okay, cool. Someone says, Gara, I think people sell for the CPI report. Yeah, it could be the case. I mean, it could definitely be the case, but I'm definitely not going to sell. I'm going to hold through. I think it's going to be short-term bearishness, if anything. Like, it's not even going to be worth it, I think. The CPI report is going to be the 12th of May, if you guys didn't know. All right, guys. I'll be wrapping up the live stream right now. I thought, it would be nice to just live stream because it's Sunday, and maybe watch the future market open up. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for the first trading day of the week, of course. Beautiful, beautiful day of the week, Monday. We'll be live before the market opens and before the market closes. I'll try to actually extend the streaming hours, if that's possible, and maybe upload a video or two. That would be pretty cool too. So definitely make sure you are subscribed if you haven't subscribed yet. That would be really cool. Yeah, I should also probably do the live streams a little earlier. I've been doing them pretty late in the weekend. Also, let me know, would you guys like to see a crypto live stream on the Saturday? Like, does anybody want to see a crypto live stream where we just cover cryptos? I've been getting into altcoins lately, so if you guys are interested in that, just let me know in the live chat. One second. Yeah, some people want it, some people don't. Yeah, we can do that. We can have a crypto Saturday. I'm gonna see if I can actually really pull it off, because Saturday, that's really like the day that I rest and whatever. Sunday is the holy day. But yeah, I think I'll probably manage something. It will be cool. We'll also try to be more consistent with the live stream times. I've heard people talk about, how it's a little inconsistent. Sometimes I'm like 15 minutes late. So we'll try to figure out how to plan that in accordingly. So we'll try to do that. Also, I would say, oh, never mind. Okay, cool. Got that going. Someone is spamming. Yes, please. Crypto live stream. We'll do that. All right, guys. I'm gonna head off. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you are in the Discord. I'll link you guys Discord community. Do that every single time. You can join instantaneously. It's a free community you can join, where we talk about stocks, trading, finance, etc. But yeah. All right, guys. Have an awesome Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow.